To a conversation that will and has continued to elicit a lot of reactions in the country. This is in relation to the milk reforms that have been spearheaded by the Kenya Dairy Board. Well, right now I want to bring in a gentleman who is the organizing secretary for Bright Dairy Farmers Group, and that is Elisha, if I'm not wrong. Thank you for joining us, Elisha. And of course, what are the key issues that have come up for discussion, especially when it comes to draft regulations that there is an intention actually to have milk prices capped?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. So one thing that I should probably just bring to the public's attention is we recently had a sit down with the Kenya Dairy Board as Bright Dairy Farmers officials, together with the representation from the Kenya Dairy Farmers Federation back in Eldoret. And they brought it to our attention because our fear was there was no much communication in regards to at what point the draft regulations were at. Hence why you found out Kenyans going out and having an outcry and not knowing what they were reacting towards, not knowing whether the draft bill was going to the parliament. But the Kenya Dairy Board got to help us understand that they're just at the initial stages. And this assisted us to understand that public participation is yet to happen. And that was also one of our key agendas, to ensure that all the voices of the dairy farmers are included in the participation of drafting these regulations. So as we speak right now, they gave us a new copy of our draft, which again they said or clearly indicated to us that it's continuously changing. Therefore, you find some of those things where they're talking about capping prices. And there's so many issues that we had where you find our challenge being a lot of processes and infrastructures have not been put in place to ensure for the smooth transitioning into these regulations.
So what would be the impact really to people who are in the dairy sector, if you had to break it down for us?
So if we're to break it down, there are several challenges that we as dairy farmers, because myself, I'm a dairy farmer.
Do you have any cows?
Yes, I do.
How many?
4 of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Where?
Back in Isinya.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I do my dairy farming, and it's more or less my full-time job. Where you find the cost of production. Personally, I incur up to 36 shillings per litre to produce my milk. Right now, what probably the best processor is offering a farmer is 31 shillings. So if this price is to be universally cut across, maybe across the whole country, where a processor will be told that to be sold at this amount, then that will probably be a challenge. Where you find still part in those drafts is where we say, then can this be also dynamic based on region, because all regions have different pricing or rather challenges in the dairy industry. So pricing of the feeds is quite expensive and costly for us. And despite all the quantities of maybe the price is also the quality. Okay. Because again, the quality is also something that the regulations is also looking into, because the regulations objective, as we were told by KDB, was mainly for the safety and the quality of the milk. So when you're looking at the quality, or rather the safety of the milk, if the feeds are contaminated, then at the end of the day, as a farmer, I might not be able to control, but only to produce not very safe milk in that regards. Okay. So infrastructures also, looking at cooling plants, looking at even access of roads to where even will be also delivering this milk, is something that people like this, specifically the state Department for Livestock, in the country, who can be able to address some of these challenges and also ensure capacity building, where you're also finding the production of food is seasonal because of the rains. So then here is when you are recently hearing where we're importing quite a lot of milk, yet at some point in the year where we had quite a lot of milk. So how do you ensure that we ensure that this glut that is greatly reliant on rainfall, or rather the production of feeds? So those are some of the challenges and capacity building that we will require as farmers to be assisted to ensure to.
Okay, in less than 30 seconds, what are the top issues that you want resolved moving forward?
So what should be resolved is, first is the quality and pricing of the feeds that we as farmers have. Secondly is the reinstatement of extension services, where we have found they have not been able to be quite well funded and accessed. And then thirdly, we'll be looking at how then can we be able to be given capacity building and trainings to ensure that we are efficiently producing our milk at affordable prices that are competitive both locally and internationally.
All right.